Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Welcome to all students. Today I am going to teach you history. Why we study history? Because history is one of the most interesting subject, and history help us to learn the world events, and it also helps us to become a good citizen, and we can understand the culture, and we know who we are, and we can also understand the world. Through history, we can learn how past societies, system, ideologies, government, cultures, technologies were built, and how they operated and how they have changed. So you should know about this thing, how to study history. History is not about memorizing a list of facts or dates. It requires interpretations and analysis of information. Section 1 of your course is world history, and the world history is always help us better understand how and why the world got to be the way it is, and it gives attention to the histories of nations, civilization, and other groups, and the differences among all these groups. Chapter number 1 is the medieval world, and in this chapter you will study the causes and effects and decline of the Roman Empire, and feudal. You also study about the feudalism, describe how the authority and responsibilities were distributed in the feudal system, and briefly describe the Byzantium Empire and its relation with the neighboring empires. So first of all, I will tell you about the medieval world. The word medieval means, the medi means the middle and evil means the age. The medieval means the middle age, and this chapter is about the middle age world. And this age of middle ages of the European history start from the 5th century and ends in the 14th century, and it is the time between the fall of the Rome and the beginning of the early modern Europe. Begin with the fall of the Western Roman Empire and merged into the age of discovery and timeline of the medieval history. First of all, you should know about the history. There are the three main type of histories: the ancient history, the medieval history, and the modern history. Ancient history ends in 1200 AD, and medieval history start from the 600 AD to 1200 AD. That time is called the early medieval period. Okay, medieval period were divided into three parts: early medieval period, and the pre-modern period. And early medieval period start from 600 AD to 1200 AD. Medieval period start from 1200 AD to 1700 AD, when the after the death of Aurangzeb, the modern era start, and it ends before 1857, War of Independence. The golden age of the Roman Empire. The golden age of the Rome is marked by the Pax Romana, and which means the Roman peace. And in history, there were fewer wars than in any other period, and the empire strengthened its central government and consolidated its power and created a stable condition in which trade and communication flourished. Now we will move on the exercise of chapter 1, question and activities. Answer the following question by choosing the best option A, B, C or D. The Middle Ages is also referred as Dark Ages. Number B option is feudalism, C, modern Europe, D, Byzantine Empire. And the correct option is Dark Ages. The Middle Ages is also referred as Dark Ages. Number 2, the term Pax Romana refers to the period of chaos in the Roman Empire, industrial development in the Roman Empire, the reign of Marcus Aurelius, Roman peace. And the correct option is option D, Roman peace. The term Pax Romana refers to the period of Roman peace. The term Middle Ages is the time period between 2 AD to 5 AD, 4 AD to 13 AD, 5 AD to 13 AD, 7 AD to 12 AD. And the correct option is the option C, 5 AD to 13 AD. The term Middle Ages is the time period between 5 AD to 13 AD. The capital of the Byzantine Empire was Anatolia, Bulgaria, Rome, Constantinople. And the correct option is option D, Constantinople. And the capital of the Byzantine Empire was Constantinople. And the fifth option is the Roman laws were organized by Augustus, Marcus Aurelius, Pope, and Justinian I. And the correct option is option D, Justinian I. The Roman laws were organized by Justinian I. Now move to the next question, and the next question is define the following. Number 2 of your exercise is define the following. A. Feudal system. Feudal system was a system in which people were given land and protection by people of higher rank who worked and fought for them in return. B. Barbarian. A person from a land, culture, or group believed to be inferior, uncivilized, or violent is called barbarian. C. Orthodox Church. The collective body of these Eastern churches that were separated from the Western Church in the 11th century are called Orthodox Church. D. Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire was a vast and powerful civilization with origins that can be traced to 330 AD when the Roman Emperor Constantinople I dedicated a new Rome on the site of the ancient Greek colony of Byzantine. E. Catholic Church. A visible society of baptized Christians professing the same faith under the authority of Christ, Pope, and the bishops in communion with him. F. Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia was the seat of the leader of the Orthodox Church in Constantinople, which is modern-day Istanbul. Now solve the short question answers of chapter number 1. Question 1 is, why was the Emperor Augustus important in the history of the Roman Empire? The answer is, Augustus was the first emperor of Roman Empire and he was a successful ruler. He extended the empire, adding Egypt, northern Spain, and much of the Central Europe. During reign, Augustus restored peace and prosperity to the Roman state. Question number 2. Give an example of the Roman achievements that continues to influence Western civilization today. Answer of this question is, Christianity played a key role in civilization and the culture that is still in place in the Western civilization. And in the Roman Empire, art and architecture were religious in nature. During the Pax Romana, Roman culture was spread to Western Europe. Question number 3. Compare the hierarchy of responsibilities between the knights and peasants in the feudal system. Knights served their noble lords in exchange for land, and many peasants worked as tenants on lands which were owned by the nobles or knights. Question number 4. How was the Byzantine Empire linked with other parts of the world? The Byzantine Empire influenced many cultures primarily due to its role in shaping Orthodox churches, Byzantine architecture, particularly in religious building, can be found in diverse regions from Egypt to Russia. Question number 5. What was Justinian Code? Answer is the Justinian Code brought uniformity in majority of the laws, which provides the basis of justice system of the modern world. I hope you understand all the brief answers of these questions. Now look at the exercise. Answer the following question in detail. Question number 1. Summarize the effects of the fall of the Roman Empire. Question number 1. The answer of this question is on your book. Page number 13, effects of the fall of the Roman Empire. And all these 7 points are included in this answer. And you can see on your screen also. Explain you the answer of this question, effects of the fall of the Roman Empire. Many historians believe that the fall of the Western Roman Empire have so many military causes, political causes, economic, social, moral, and the number 1 point is the military cause for the fall of Roman Empire. The Roman army became weaker and less loyal to the Roman Empire. The army began to use non-Roman and the army was not able to stop the barbarian invasions. And number 2 is the political cause. The political cause, the government became corrupt, oppression and self-centered, and it also popular support, and people did not have confidence on their leaders, and economic, there are so many economic causes also for the fall of the Roman Empire. Taxes increased and the population declined because of disease and war. The empire heavily have slaves and laborers, agriculture productions and trade declined, and there are also the social factors, social causes for the fall of Roman Empire. And there was a decline in the patriotism, discipline and devotion to their duties. The upper class became self-centered and the lower class, and the difference between the upper class and the lower class witnessed, and the people became lazy and they lost the value of self-reliance. And the other point is the moral cause for the fall of Roman Empire, and the value of morals of the people and the society declined, and the family structure broke down. People became self-centered, religious values and the morals weakened day by day. I have explained you the causes of fall of Roman Empire, and now we will discuss effects that were generated due to explained causes. Number 1 is the invasion barbarian destroyed the whole socio-economic infrastructure. Eastern Roman Empire became the Byzantium Empire. People retreated the rural areas due to the barbarian attacks in the urban areas, and no strong leader were left in the Roman cities, and very few people were able to read and write, and the Western Roman Empire was split and largely, and internal conflict between the tribes, and official language is Latin, but not remained popular, and mostly the lords and nobles established some order in the land through the system of feudalism. Hope now you can understand the answer of this question. Now move on to the next question. Next question is, explain the impacts of the attacks made by barbarians on the Roman Empire. And the answer of this question is on your book, page number 12. And now I will explain you the answer of this question. First, you should know about this thing, that attacks made by the barbarian on the Roman Empire. In European, there were 5 major barbarian tribes, and all of them hated Rome. Each of the barbarian tribe wanted to destroy Rome. The barbarians were destroying Roman towns and cities, and when the barbarians settled And when the barbarians settled in the premises of the Roman Empire, they were hired as a soldiers by the Roman government. And barbarians started invading the empire from 375 AD, and they continued their attacks until 538 AD, and the weak rulers of the Western Roman Empire could not defend themselves against the barbarian attacks. I hope now you can understand the answer of this question, and now move to the next question, question number 3. Now the next question is, identify the reason of downfall of the Byzantium Empire, also explain its major outcome. And the answer of this question is on your book, page number 20, decline of the Byzantine Empire. And these two paragraphs are included in this answer, and now I will explain you the answer of this question. The Byzantine Empire fell in 1453. The immediate cause of its fall was pressure by the Ottoman Turks, and the major cause of the decline of Byzantine Empire was the Crusades, and the Crusades were supposed to be the Christian wars against the Muslims. Main reason of decline of Byzantine Empire were natural disaster and powerful enemies, and the powerful enemies such as the Arabs and Seljuk Turks and Ottoman Turks. The major outcomes due to the decline of the Byzantine Empire were their internal conflicts, downfall, and the downfall of the efficient military system, significant population, trade network, and economy. And moreover, Christianity shifted to the Russian Empire. Now you can understand the answer of this question. Now move to the next question. And the next question is, write short notes on the following topics in your own words. Number one is the limitations of feudal system. And the answer of this question is on your book, page number 17. These 3 points are included in this answer. And the next topic is Golden Age of the Roman Empire. The answer of this question is on your book, page number 10, the Golden Age of Roman Empire. And the next topic is decline of Byzantine Empire. And the same answer look at the page number 20, decline of the Byzantine Empire. And these two paragraphs are included in this answer. I hope now you can understand all the exercise and learn all the exercise. Next question is, match the column. Number 1, Byzantine Empire, and we match the Byzantine Empire with the option E, Justinian Code. And number 2, Augustus, and we match Augustus with option D, worldly nobility. And number 3, Prince Dukes, and we match number 3 with number F, Nomisma Solidus. And the fourth one is Marcus Aurelius. We match Marcus Aurelius with respect for laws, organization of laws, meritocratic society. Option 5 we match with B, option B. And religious nobility, the religious nobility, cardinal, bishops, archbishops, and we matched number 6 with C option. Chapter 1 along with exercise has been completed. All the students are required to complete their notebooks, as assessment of chapter number 1 will be taken before the start of chapter number 2. Stay home, stay safe, and study regularly. Allah Hafiz.